everyone keeps saying. The economy is strong. The unemployment rate is still low. America keeps creating jobs. Those headlines sound reassuring. They make it seem like everything is fine. But then, why are millions of Americans sending hundreds of applications without getting a single interview? Why are college graduates moving back in with their parents? Why are experienced professionals taking jobs that pay half of what they earned just 2 years ago? Something doesn't add up. Because there are actually 3 big lies hidden behind America's job market. The first lie is hidden inside the government's own numbers. The second is quietly freezing hiring across entire industries. And the third may be the reason you're struggling. Even if you're doing everything right, by the end of this video, you'll understand why the labor market feels completely different from what the news is reporting. More importantly, you'll know how to adapt before millions of other people do. Because the biggest danger isn't losing your job, it's believing the old rules still work. Lie number 1. The numbers look strong. Until you read the fine print. Every month, investors wait for one report. The US jobs report. If payrolls beat expectations, markets celebrate. Politicians celebrate. Television anchors celebrate. Everyone repeats the same sentence. The labor market remains resilient. But here's the question. What exactly are they measuring? Because creating jobs doesn't necessarily mean creating good jobs. Imagine taking a picture of a city from San Juan feet. Everything looks healthy. The streets are full. Cars are moving. Lights are on. Now, walk through those streets. You notice empty stores, people working 2 jobs, businesses reducing hours, families cutting spending. The picture changed. The jobs report works the same way. It counts jobs. It doesn't measure how secure those jobs are. It doesn't show whether workers are earning enough to keep up with inflation. It doesn't tell you whether someone accepted a part-time job because they couldn't find full-time work. A single person working 3 different jobs counts as 3 payroll positions, not one struggling worker. Then there are revisions. The first jobs report grabs headlines. Weeks later, the government quietly revises the numbers. Sometimes, thousands of jobs disappear, but almost nobody notices. The headlines are already gone. Seasonal adjustments also make the picture harder to understand. Retail hiring, construction, education, tourism. These sectors naturally move throughout the year. Economists adjust the numbers, usually for good reasons. But those adjustments can temporarily make the labor market appear stronger or weaker than it actually is. Meanwhile, consumer confidence remains fragile. Households continue worrying about paying bills. Credit card balances remain historically high. Delinquencies have been climbing. If the labor market is supposedly booming, why do so many Americans feel financially trapped? Because the headline is only showing one piece of the puzzle. And that leads to the second lie. Part 3. Lie number 2. Policies that were supposed to help. Governments love one idea. Stimulate the economy. Spend more. Protect domestic industries. Raise tariffs. Support local manufacturing. In theory, that sounds reasonable. Higher tariffs make imported goods more expensive. Consumers buy American products. Factories hire more workers. Everybody wins. At least, that's the theory. Reality is much messier. Businesses don't only react to costs. They react to uncertainty. Imagine running a manufacturing company. You don't know whether tariffs will increase next month or disappear after the next election. You don't know what imported materials will cost or how much customers will spend. Would you hire 500 new employees? Probably not. You wait. And when thousands of companies all decide to wait, hiring slows across the economy. The same thing happens with interest rates. The Federal Reserve raised rates aggressively to fight inflation. Higher rates make borrowing more expensive. That affects almost everything. Businesses delay expansion. Developers cancel construction projects. Startups struggle to raise money. Technology companies cut costs. Hiring freezes spread quietly. Not because companies are collapsing, but because nobody wants to make expensive long-term commitments. This creates a strange economy. Profits remain positive. Stock markets can even rise. yet hiring slows underneath the surface. It becomes an invisible recession, not for GDP, but for workers, especially new graduates, career changers, and anyone looking for better opportunities. Which brings us to the biggest lie of all, part 4, lie number 3. You're just not trying hard enough. This might be the most damaging myth. If you can't find a job, people assume you aren't applying enough. Maybe your resume is bad. Maybe your interview skills are weak. Maybe you're just lazy. But today's job market has fundamentally changed. First, artificial intelligence. Companies are automating tasks that once belonged to entry-level workers. Customer support, basic programming, marketing content, data analysis, administrative work. The jobs haven't completely disappeared, but companies need fewer people, especially juniors. Second, ghost jobs. Thousands of job postings were never intended to be filled. Some companies collect resumes. Some want to appear like they're growing. Others leave listings online after hiring. Applicants waste weeks chasing opportunities that never really existed. Then comes automated recruiting. Today, one person can submit hundreds of applications using AI tools. That means recruiters receive thousands of resumes, not hundreds, thousands. Qualified candidates become invisible, not because they lack skills, because algorithms filter them out before a human ever reads their application. The competition isn't only other people anymore. It's software. Against software. That explains something many workers experience. You apply. Nothing happens. You apply again. Silence. Again. Silence. Eventually, you start blaming yourself, when in reality, the rules changed. Nobody told you. Part 5. The new rules. Here's the good news. Every economic shift creates winners. The Industrial Revolution did. The internet did. Smartphones did. Artificial intelligence will too. The mistake is pretending nothing has changed. Sending 500 identical applications won't save your career. Working harder isn't always the answer. Working differently is. The people succeeding today are learning skills the market desperately needs. They're using AI instead of competing against it. They're building networks instead of waiting for recruiters. They're creating multiple income streams instead of depending on one employer. The old economy rewarded stability. The new economy rewards adaptability. That's the difference. Part 6. 4 things you should do now. Number 1. Stop mass applying. Instead, choose 10 to 20 companies. Research them deeply. Tailor every application. Quality beats quantity. Every time. Number 2. Learn to use AI. Don't fear it. Use it. Employers increasingly reward people who know how to work alongside artificial intelligence. Number 3. Follow where hiring is actually growing. Healthcare, energy, cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, infrastructure. Some industries are shrinking. Others are desperate for talent. Know the difference. Number 4. Build income outside your job. Freelancing, digital products, online businesses, investing in valuable skills. One paycheck is becoming a risky strategy. The future belongs to people with options. The US job market isn't collapsing overnight. It's changing quietly. And that's exactly why so many people don't see it coming. The biggest risk is believing yesterday's career advice still works. The smartest workers won't necessarily be the most experienced. They'll be the fastest to adapt. If you found this video valuable, subscribe, because the economy is changing faster than ever, and understanding those changes may become your greatest financial advantage.